welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell, I'm in my comfies today, got no makeup on and just sort of sat on my bed because today's video is going to be a super chilled, chatty, catch-up Q&A, just because I feel like I haven't uploaded for a while and I wanted to just sort of check in with you guys. And no, I have uploaded for a while. I feel like I haven't uploaded a chatty video in a long time, so I kind of wanted to check in with you guys and see how you were all doing. I will preface this by saying that I won't be uploading for around a month now because I do have my final exams, and as you'll probably tell from this Q&A, I am quite stressed. And last time I had exams, I took a break. In fact, I think I've taken a break every time I've had exams, and I think that it's just helpful for me to not have to think about it while I'm kind of working ridiculous hours throughout the day. So I hope that's okay, but I'll be back after exams and we'll hopefully be able to upload a lot more than I have been over the last couple of months with all the deadlines and everything. But before we delve into the questions that you guys sent me on Instagram, I wanted to say that this video is very kindly sponsored by the wonderful people over at Skillshare. So if you don't know what Skillshare is, it's basically an online learning community with thousands of different types of classes for people who love learning. And if you watch my channel, you probably fall into that bracket. If you want to invest in yourself and your personal growth, then there are so many different classes to choose from in all sorts of areas, whether it's cooking, photography, social media, running a business, you name it, they've probably got a class on there for it. Actually, I'm currently taking a course on how to edit using Adobe Premiere Pro because I've used Final Cut Pro pretty much since I started my channel, and I really want to be able to use Premiere Pro because they tend to use Final Cut Pro in the journalism field, which is kind of what I want to go into, as I'll talk about in this video. So I'm really trying to get to grips with Adobe. Skillshare has been such a lifesaver with this because the classes are super easy to follow, they're really informative and engaging, and it's just a really great way to invest in yourself in your free time. Skillshare can really help you make 2022 a year of learning and self-growth. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free month's trial to Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to go and check out the link in the description for your free trial, and let's get on with the video. So the first question is, how are you managing to balance uni work while still enjoying your final year? I do not want to come across as a negative Ninny in this video. I think I probably will be a little bit more negative than I kind of usually am because Oxford finals are very hard. But I am not really balancing work with uni life at the moment. I think this year I was really happy with generally how I did, especially in the first term and a half. Like, I was going to the gym super regularly and I was eating quite well, and just made time for social things and whatever. I am still doing that. I'm not going to the gym at the moment because I just cannot factor it into my day at all. By the time I've done like 6, 7, 8 hours of revision, the last thing I want to do is go to the gym. But I have been walking a lot to kind of make sure that I'm still getting my exercise. I have definitely still been eating well. I've really enjoyed cooking this year. That's something that I really didn't do in first and second year, just making sure that I carve out a bit of my day to like actually make a decent meal. And it's become quite a social thing within the flat, which I've loved. But I will definitely say that as exams have been drawing nearer and nearer, I very much just can't, like, I can't spin all the plates, which is why I'm taking a month off YouTube, and I am just kind of focusing on getting enough sleep, eating well, and doing my revision. And that's kind of the 3 things that for the next 4 or 5 weeks are going to be the key. And I want to say that, to be fair, it is really important to remember that, like, obviously you don't want to completely unbalance everything and make your revision like the center of your life, because that is not going to end well. But it is impossible, I think, to really like get that revision hours in if you really want to reach for like the top grade, or you just want to make sure that you've covered everything. I personally, after how many years of exams, I just don't really see how people somehow manage to get like the top grades and go to the gym and exercise and see friends and just manage to spin all the plates perfectly, because for most people that isn't possible. So as long as you're looking after your core well-being, as long as you're sort of doing your skincare routine in the evening and like seeing your friends and making time for things that you enjoy, don't feel like bad if you're not like some major superhuman that's like spinning every single plate perfectly, because I'm not. I genuinely am waking up, I'm doing my work, I'm eating dinner, I'm going to bed, I'm watching some Netflix. That's basically how my day is going at the moment. So don't beat yourself up if you're not running marathons alongside your revision. This one's a really nice one. Somebody asks what my recent little moment of gratitude has been. And I think for me that recently a lot of things have been little moments of gratitude. I definitely fell into a bit of a rut like the last few weeks of just getting in my own head about work and only really thinking about, am I doing enough things? Like, am I spinning my plates properly? Like, am I eating enough? Am I sleeping enough? Like, how does everyone seem to be doing better than me at balancing everything, and also seem to be doing better than me in the work? And I always get into this headspace with exams where I just feel the self-doubt, just like it's the self-doubt for me that I just can't shake, and I always just feel like I'm not doing well in anything. And so I've really been trying to like focus on little things in the day that have been, sorry, actually I've just realised I've just got like a Ronan Keating CD just chilling there. Little things in the day that have been really just worthwhile, and honestly a lot of that has come from food for me. Just like my little moment of gratitude in the day is like when I cook a really nice meal with the flat. Like we made like a really nice bolognese the other day, or we'll just have like a lovely little conversation in the corridor or something that's like really nice, or you run into somebody that you know. Those have been really nice things for me. Or I get like a nice cake, like a nice sweet treat from a shop. So I think my little moments of gratitude have been just looking for the little things in every day. And the ball also, the college ball was this weekend, and that was amazing. And I definitely probably shouldn't have gone, and like we all kind of know that we shouldn't really have gone because you are supposed to be working, but I'm so glad that I went because I had such a good time, and it will definitely remain one of my favourite memories from this year. So yeah, that's also maybe not so little moment of gratitude, but gratitude nonetheless. Someone asked, would I get a tattoo? If so, what? I'd like to say yes, but honestly I am so scared of needles. Like I really am not good with the needles at all. I can just about get an injection now without actually just wanting to combust, but I really don't like needles in any other context. I can't even watch like TV shows with them in or anything. I really don't like it. I would like to say that I'd like to get a tattoo, but I don't really know what I would get. I think it would probably be like a family member's handwriting or something, if God forbid something was to happen to a family member. But I'm so indecisive about where I would put it, and I think I would just panic that it's very permanent, and I feel like I'm not the sort of person that likes stuff like that. So I want to say maybe one day, but honestly, in reality, probably not. This was the most asked question for sure, and everybody asked what my plans are for after university. I am moving to London. I'm currently looking at flats at the moment to do a NCTJ, which is sort of like a post-grad journalism qualification. I'm doing the fast track course at News Associates in Twickenham. So it's a 6-month course. I was originally going to go to Manchester, but most of my friends are in London. So I think that was kind of what swayed me in the end, that like, I'm sorry if the lighting keeps changing, by the way. Of course, I picked the day where the sun just keeps going in and out of the clouds, but you guys are used to that. You've been watching me for years. You'll know that this always happens whenever I sit and film a Q&A. But yeah, I am really excited. Flat hunting is quite stressful around exams, and I don't exactly know what my summer is going to look like, but I do know that in September I'll be starting that, and then hopefully we'll be moving from that into a full-time job in journalism somewhere. But if I'm really honest with you, that has taken such a backseat. Like when I mean to you, I just cannot think beyond finals at the moment. I know I've got that sorted and that's good, but I've not really been following the news that much recently, if I'm brutally honest. I've not really been doing lots of journalism stuff at all in my final year because I just can't hack it all, to be honest. I do not have the capacity to do as many things as I used to do at once. So that's just getting older. Like I used to get up at like 6 o'clock for school and like work all day and then do my extracurriculars and somehow still do homework. Now I had 4 classes back to back today and I had to take a nap afterwards because I was that tired. Like what is that about? What is that about? But yeah, I'm moving to London and hopefully doing, yeah, it's like a fast track course. It's not a master's because I'm kind of done with academia now, but it's very practical. You learn sort of like on-site reporting, shorthand, all the skills that you need to become a journalist. So I think it'll give me a good grounding in what will hopefully be my future career. The next one is, what are the best moments of your time at Oxford? I really wouldn't say there are like really standout days or anything like that. Oxford's difficult, and you definitely do have moments where you think, if I had just gone to another uni, like where the terms were not so short, like would I have had a better time? And honestly, I can say now, coming to the end of my final year, that I really don't regret coming here, because I have had the worst and the best time. Like the work has been awful at points, and I've had some really like big struggles with my mental health over the years, and personal struggles as well, and just, you know, but that is normal at uni. And the workload at Oxford is absolutely obscene, but I have enjoyed it. And I think the best thing for me has just been, yeah, as I said, those little moments like picnic in the gardens, or those nights where you end up staying up till 3 in the morning. I think some of my highlights from this year were like the Halloween bop was amazing. And what else did we do? We all cooked a roast dinner at Christmas, which was lovely. Like there's just so many little things like that, so I couldn't say for certain that I have like set moments. But what I am really looking forward to are the 2 weeks that I have in Oxford after my final exam, because I am going, first off, I'm gonna go clubbing, because when I say to you I've been clubbing once in my whole final year. Yes, me, who used to go out like 2-3 times a week in first year, which was not a good idea because we all saw what that did to my mental health, but I'm actually gonna go out clubbing. I just wanna go and like see all the random bits of Oxford that I've not had time to see, and I think that that will definitely be a highlight as well. But between now and then, I've just got to get my head down, and it has been kind of sad because I am spending so much time just at my desk working in my room, because it's just really hard to lug my folders around Oxford, and it's actually just tiring me out. So I'm doing a lot of work in my room at the moment. And you know, you do think, God, I'm missing out on so much, but in reality it's a few weeks, and then I'm really excited to be able to experience Oxford without any of the academic stress, which would be super nice. But yeah, there's been so many amazing moments. There's been so many absolutely awful moments, but there've been just like formal dinners and like nights out at the pub. Just there's so many little things, and I'm really grateful for that. Somebody asked, do you ever plan on living abroad again for a period of time? I definitely would love to. I would love to go back to Seville for a few more months. I'm not gonna lie. The amount of time I spend thinking about the time I spent in Seville is embarrassing, really. I don't know whether it will ever happen, just feasibly. Like, will I be able to uproot my life that easily after uni? I don't know. So I'm very glad that I did go and live there. But if I got offered a job to go and live an extended period of time abroad in my 20s, I most likely would take it, especially if it was sort of like a set 6-month period or something, where I knew that I was sort of going and then coming back. Yeah, 100%. The next question is a very simple question, and it is just, how are you? As you can probably tell, like, I'm nowhere near as bad as I was in my first year. This time in my first year, I was an absolute train wreck. I was not doing well at all. And I've spoken about that many a time on this channel. I just wasn't eating properly. I wasn't sleeping. I was so depressed, and I'd just been pied off by a boy, and it was very painful, and it just wasn't a good time for me at all. I'm not doing amazingly at the moment because finals are just ridiculous, and to be honest, having had 3 years kind of off exams, I think for me, it's not that I can't do the work, but something has kind of died in me that I used to have this like unceasing motivation to just work all the time. And I know that you kind of glorify your past self and you always think that you kind of did more than you actually did. And I know that every time I've done exams, I've doubted myself and thought I've not done enough, and then it's turned out fine. I will say, like, hand on heart, like, I have not done as much work for my finals than I probably thought that I would do, purely because I've just lost the motivation, which is really annoying because I would love a first, obviously. But it all just seems a bit arbitrary after having had a few years without doing exams and stuff. And I've also just realised that there are just so many more like important things in life. And so at the moment I'm feeling a little bit torn between a rock and a hard place, because I think I know I'm probably not going to do as well as I did in my prelims. But I also know that I'm doing way better, like physically and mentally, than I was during my prelims. And I think that's a hard pill for me to swallow, because I think I've always very much equated academic success with a lot of like self-sacrifice, which I'm now not really willing to do anymore, like for my own sake. But then I'm not really also willing to accept that I might not do as well as I have done in previous years. I obviously really want a first, and I am trying to work to get a first, but I think I took quite a lot of periods off over the holidays, a lot more than I should have, and I just don't have the capacity to do like 8-hour working days anymore. I can do 6, maybe 7 at a push, and I just find myself not really feeling that motivated to keep pushing on, and so I don't know if I'll get a first. Yeah, it also just feels like a bit of a lottery this year, because I have 9 papers, and realistically, like, I can do 2 translations, and one of them will be marked like 75 and one of them will be a 65, and it's just going to come down to like what examiner I have and like what they like about it and what they don't. And it could well be that I work this hard and I just don't get the grade that I want because I have a bad day or the question doesn't suit me. And so I'm trying to like obviously work hard, but I'm also trying not to cover everything, because it is literally impossible to cover everything for finals here. Like I don't even think you could scratch the surface of how much you really need to know to be able to like excel in all your papers. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit not great. I think just because I kind of thought like, oh right, I'm really going to do this final push and I'm going to come out with like a gleaming first and it'll all have been worth it. And I just don't, it's not that I don't think that I'm capable of getting a first, it could well be that I get one. Do I think I've put in so much work that it's kind of like guaranteed? No, not at all. I think it's going to be very touch and go as to whether I manage it or not. And I think I'm just very torn between how sad I am that I haven't really put in, not that I've not put in work, I have worked so hard throughout my degree, but I think this year I think I've got this nagging feeling that I've kind of like fallen at the final hurdle, which is so not true, you know, because I still have time and I still am working, and I'm not going to regret not coming out of this degree a shell of my former self if that means I get first. But I think some part of me will be sad if I don't get a first, and I think that's probably just years of study tube and years of being a perfectionist and years of getting stupid grades at a great personal cost. So it's difficult. I think I'm in a bit of a weird space at the moment where I'm kind of looking after myself more, but like I just feel like I don't do as much in a day as I used to, but I equally don't have much to show for that, because at the moment I'm not really socializing, like I'm not going out, like I'm not spending the time that I'm not working, like doing stuff. So I do just have this voice constantly of like, you're not doing enough, like you're not, like you may as well just work hard if you're not gonna like go out and enjoy yourself. And I just feel like I can't get the balance right between working really hard and like trying to have a balance, and I basically just feel like everything I'm doing is like wrong at the moment, and I'm like wasting my last sort of section of my degree. And I think that that's just me, that's just how my brain works, and I'm trying very hard to get rid of that and to just enjoy, but I think that that's just how it's gonna be, and we'll see if I get first or not. But yeah, I'm not great at the moment. I think I've got a lot of self-doubt and a lot of like inner questioning, and a lot of have I made the most of this year? Like, could I have done more work this year? Could I have really pushed for that first? Could I have gone out more equally on the other side? Because I feel like I've not really pushed for the first, but I've equally not gone out and like lived my best life. I've spent a lot of time in this flat. So yeah, I think I need to get out of that rut of like comparison with my past self, and just like remember that I'm like a different person, and that, you know, 4 years of an Oxford degree is quite tiring. So we shall see how it goes. I'm just gonna work the hardest that I physically can between now and then, and we can judge the rest, you know? Sorry, that was such a long answer. You guys are literally not my therapist. I don't know why that ended up being like the world's longest answer. I do apologise. Someone asked for a story time about my situationship in 2019. And I know I did mention that earlier, but there isn't really a story time. I was just talking to a guy, and we spoke for like 6 months, basically like all day, every day. And I got a bit attached because I have very attachy personality, and I based my emotions too much on whether or not they were replying and how they were replying. And yeah, then I think he just kind of freaked out and said like, this isn't going to be a relationship. I was on the hook basically, if you've watched How I Met Your Mother. And I was already really struggling anyway, and I don't really think I've ever been rejected at that point in my life, so it just took a bit of a knife to the chest. And yeah, I'm not embarrassed about how hardly I took that, because I think everyone kind of takes their first big rejection like that seriously, whether or not it was a real relationship. And I didn't want to talk about it for a long time because I think my pride was like very wounded by that whole situation. And you know, I feel like my pride still is kind of like, I don't like talking about it at all because I just get really sort of like you're actually the world's biggest mug, but it happens to a lot of people. So I don't feel that bad about it anymore. But that's basically the story time. I mean, it's obviously a very, very long story. I'm not going to go into the full details, but if you ever find yourself in a situation where someone says, oh, like we can be in a relationship, but like down the line, get yourself out of there. Get yourself out of there. You are worth more. How do you feel about leaving Oxford so soon? Does it feel like the end of an era? Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. This year has absolutely flown by. It's been without a doubt my favourite year of uni, but it has just evaporated. Like, I've never felt like, I feel like time just gets quicker and quicker as you get older. And it has been a bit hard. Like, it's been a hard pill to swallow, I think, that we're leaving so soon. And I think, as I said earlier, because of the finals, you are like, I am just running from one place to the other, and you always just have this feeling of like, could I have made more of my time here? Like, could I have gone to more events? Could I have done more? Could I have made more friends? I think this year I've definitely felt that. I've definitely not, like, there are lots of people in first and second year that I used to be really close with that I kind of lost touch with over my year abroad, because it's very hard to maintain. Like, in my second year, I felt like I knew everybody, and, you know, I tried to imagine, like, doing that this year, and, like, having this sort of, like, all the acquaintances, and, like, going out for coffees with people that you sort of know, but you don't know, like, that well, and, like, the amount of sort of the big circle of friends that you kind of have to upkeep, like, I just couldn't do that this year, and I definitely have got a very, very narrow circle of people that I communicate with on a regular basis now, and I sometimes think, oh my god, like, am I going to graduate feeling like I don't have any mates? But I do still have mates, you know. It's just that you have to be a bit more, you have to be like more resourceful with your time, essentially, and that was something that I really struggled with a lot this year. just feeling like I was like, not barely no mates, but just that I hadn't gone out and socialised and done what I did in second year. But I think I need to remind myself that that is exhausting. And that just because you don't see somebody and talk to them all the time doesn't mean that you're not still friends. I think I am emotional about leaving Oxford, and I don't think it will hit me until exams are done, because honestly at the moment it's really hard to think beyond that. But I really just want to make sure I make the most of those couple of weeks I have after I finish, and I will definitely be doing that, and I will hopefully be vlogging that, because I would really love to just document those 2 weeks. But I have to accept that this period right now is just for knuckling down. It's not for making memories, you know, that can wait. I know it sounds stupid, but I've not taken any photos with my film camera in like 3 months, and I just think, oh my god, like, I've got nothing to show for the last 3 months. But I will hopefully have a 2-1 or a first. I pray, even just for a 2-1. Yeah, so basically what we concluded from this video is I need to stop overthinking things and just live and not worry about whether I'm living correctly or whether I'm doing the right things with my time. But I'm never gonna do that, am I? Because that's just me. What has been the hardest thing to learn at university? I think for me, really, if I'm gonna be like dead honest, the hardest thing for me to learn is that you're just not. I feel like when you're like 16, 17, 18, you just think like you know everything, and not like you know everything. I didn't think I was like the most intelligent human ever be. Everything's so black and white when you were sort of coming into uni, and I don't know if that was just me, but I think just being in the sheltered like education system and just being so sort of set on a goal. I was always so set on getting into Oxford and whatever, and just, you know, living at home and just having a very scheduled day and all of that, to then go from that to uni. I think uni, especially my first year, just made me realise that you just don't know half the stuff that you think that you do, and you're not the best thing since sliced bread. Not in like a horrible way, but like, you know, you're not perfect, and you are going to make stupid mistakes, and you are going to do things that you regret, and you are going to look back on periods and think, what was I doing? And I think the biggest lesson for me has been all of the sort of mistakes that I've made whilst I've been here at Oxford, or like all the things that I wish I'd done differently. That's just life, and like you're always going to wish that you think you did things differently, and you're never going to be perfect. And as much as Oxford, the academic system, does have a tendency of making you feel about this big, it has been quite helpful, because it makes you realise that you don't know everything, and like nothing is as black and white as it seems, and like life is difficult, and things aren't just as easy as like a yes or a no, or like an easy exam answer that you can revise for. Like, it sounds really cheesy, but I think just the uni has been so chaotic and has gone so quickly, and I feel like completely like I do not recognise my 18-year-old self at all. And I think that that's just come from a lot of like hard knocks and a lot of wake-up calls, and just having to exist by yourself and do stupid things, and like not feed yourself properly, and like overlook your health, and sort of fall out with people, make up with people, get into situationships, relationships, whatever. This year, especially for me, I think really like put the nail in the coffin. Like, my first year was a big wake-up call, and then the pandemic. I mean, I've not even mentioned the pandemic because in this video, because we don't need to talk about COVID anymore. No, we do, like, not that it doesn't exist, but like I feel like we're kind of over pandemic chats on this channel. But I think my uni experience has just been, yeah, a series of really big pills to swallow, but ones that I'm glad I've swallowed, because I've had so much fun learning all about the things that you don't do, and that, you know what, you're just never going to be able to do it all, so what's the point? You just got to enjoy your life, really. And if I could go back to first year, even tell her that, I think I probably would. But would she learn? I'm not really sure. I think you have to learn those lessons for yourself. Anyway, this has been the longest and most ranty Q&A I think we've ever done. As you can tell, I'm in a very weird headspace at the moment with everything, and as you can also tell, I'm very tired, because look, I think I've got a bit of a rash, like stress rash on the old cheeks, and I'm not looking my Georgie best, but it's fine. Anyway, I will see you guys in about a month's time. I'm so sorry I've not uploaded as regularly as I wanted to this year. I just, as I said, balancing is hard, and I will put my hands up and say that I'm not perfect at it, and I will talk more about all of that. I feel like there's so much more I want to say, and like so much more that I will actually like fill you in on when I have the headspace to kind of to talk more. But this was enough talking, I think, so let's end this video here. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. As I said, if you click the link down in the description, the first 1,000 of you to do that will get a month's free trial, so don't forget to go and check that out. And yeah, I'll see you in a month. If you've got exams, good luck. Please just manifest manifest that my results reflect my work. Not that I go first specifically, but just manifest that it goes okay for me, please. And yeah, I'll see you not so soon, but soon enough. Bye guys.